Welcome,
All right.
you degenerates, to the number one recording podcast in the world as far as betting goes. I am Billy. I'm here with my buddy Greggy, and I'm also here with the one, the only basketball mister. How are you, basketball mister?
Mista. I am doing great, boys. How are we tonight?
I'm alright.
Wonderful. I'm
Had
doing
a tough
wonderful.
day, but, it kind of evens out.
Vibes are good today on the show. Last week we had some down vibes. The vibes are feeling great tonight on Wednesday at 12:18 in the morning.
Yep. We feel good.
Yeah,
We had a
I
good
feel
week.
great.
Greggy had a good week. Greggy had an amazing day yesterday. What'd you go?
Yes, sir.
12-2,
I
13-2.
went 12-3 yesterday overall, and that is also with going 8-1 in the NBA. I have it written down.
8-1 the props.
Well, yeah, props and games. Uh, yeah, 8-1 in NBA yesterday, and another 2-0 today. 10-11 in the last NBA picks to start the week, and 19-6 in my last 25 overall.
Wow, look at this kid.
Thank you.
Congrats, Greggy. We're proud
you.
of you. You only have one more sport to bump
Look
up
at-
those grades, but
Look at the come up from when Greg started 0-9 or whatever, 0-50 to start the year. And here he is now, climbing out of the doldrums.
One game over 500 in NBA now.
yep.
It's
Love
amazing.
it. I love to see it. He's
Yep.
starting to give me some competition. I told Greggy and Billy off screen that he's coming for the crown, coming for my throne. The king don't let up, though. The king is here. The king owns the hardwood. The king went 4-0 tonight in NBA again. You can't top me. Now
Yeah.
what was my record? 90-62. Now
Yep,
28 games over 500.
I was just about to run through the records real quick for those who don't
Hey.
follow us on Twitter. You guys, A, are psychopaths because we are A, hysterical, give out great picks, and C, we're a must follow.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, we got some great new people chatting with us.
Yeah, first off, shout out to us. Shout out to our followers. We finally hit 100 followers. It may not be much, but it's a start. We just started this. I feel great about it. I know Morgan's ecstatic. He's
I
talking.
feel phenomenal.
Hey, it's a milestone. It's a
Yeah, it's our
milestone for
first
sure.
milestone. Next one is 10 million.
The best part is the betting the diagonal page has about 110 times as many followers as Greg does on Twitter.
Yes. Yes.
Morgan, do you
That is
follow
true.
Greg on Twitter?
I do. I'm one of three.
I'm
Thank
the
you.
other one, and betting diagonals was third.
Yeah, I think that's right. That might be right.
But I
But
think Sean follows him too.
yeah, he does.
I think he's
He
up
does.
to 5 now.
He does. I have good friends. But ever since I did join the podcast, our Twitter has gotten like 25 new followers.
Oh, we saying it's all about him, Mister. Hey,
I'm not. I'm just saying, is it a coincidence or I
I
don't know.
Did the hey Greg here influence all these?
I
Hey
I
guys, Greg here.
I think everybody noticed the growth.
Yeah, they know it's to
That's
come up.
significant growth.
Yeah, exponential if you ask me.
Thank you.
We almost had to hire a copywriter to write Greg's tweets for him, but it turns out Greg does know how to tweet a little bit.
Yep, he was just nervous. I think he was just real nervous.
I was. I had the jitters on the keyboard. Backspace a couple times. It's like it's like those conversations you have like with the girl that you like, and you're like, no, I'm not gonna say that. That sounds stupid. And then you come up with the worst possible thing to say anyway.
Like, hey, Greg here.
Yeah, exactly. It's like your first Facebook profile picture. You look at it, you enjoy it, you laugh at it, but it's a memory.
I do have a Twitter confession. I just learned this week how to skip a space in between like lines of what I'm writing. Usually, whenever I write my messages, I would write it in my notes and then I would just copy and paste. Just learned this week how to skip a space to the next line.
That's crazy because I figured that out on like day 2.
You just press return, bro.
Yeah, you got to go to like this. You got to go to the symbols.
Yeah, didn't know how to find it, and then I found it the other day, just randomly pushing buttons.
Yep. As you guys can see, I am with two technologically inadvanced people. They're essentially like cavemen when it comes to. Morgan writes his notes on paper. We have a whole Google Docs, and he refuses to use it.
You got pages, boys. Pages.
Yep.
We
Uh,
go here.
yeah, I was gonna go over the records real quick. As of recording this, so at the end of Tuesday night's games, I am 200, 205, and 9 in college basketball, which works out to 49%. Morgan is 148, 151, and 4, which also works out to 49%. Greggy, slowly catching up. I didn't do your average yet, but I assume it's at 40
Okay.
because you only won 2 games. 26 and 38. So we'll call that 40% to 41%.
I
For the
won 3 games
NBA,
today.
3 games? Yeah, it's 3 games. Whatever your average is.
Okay.
That's my one concern. Um, the NBA, I'm 15 and 22. Fuck the NBA. It's a dumb sport. Doesn't make any sense. Morgan is an astounding 90 and 62 for 59%. Even after the audit, he's been on fire since then. And Greggy is now at 51% with his 34, 33, and 2. Well, it's really 50%, but we'll give him the 1% just for the boys back home.
Thank you.
Of course, NHL, I continue to dominate. 17 and 12. Actually, are these updated? Yes, they are. 17 and 12 at 58%. Morgan, 22 and 22 at a cool 50%. And Greg is
Better than I expected.
14 and 17, now at 41%. Quick MMA update, because Greg's supposed to be the MMA guy.
Mm-hmm.
He forgot to post the card.
I did.
I knew his cards. I wrote his picks. I won. But he didn't. He's 3 and 5 in MMA. I am 3 and 1, also known as the undisputed champion. So that's just a quick recap of, how the records are going. I'm going to try to do a better job keep putting the records up on Twitter.
We were talking about this earlier. We're going to have a special teaser for the records coming. The boys, we bet Chinese basketball.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be putting Chinese basketball plays out there. Chinese basketball might be our favorite sport.
Yep. That's
There's
where
so much fun.
there will be plays coming out for Chinese basketball. I got one. I'm going to tease it right now. Sichuan Blue Whales playing at 7 o'clock Eastern time this morning, plus 7.5.
Oh, you got plus 7.5. I got plus 8.5.
Well,
that was the perfect segue because that's my next thing. I was going to talk to McGregor, but he's washed. He wants a rematch. He won't get. But the Sichuan Blue Whales, our ride or die team here at Betting the Diagonal, they held Jimmer Fredette to a lonely, low key 71 points in a double overtime win that made me cover my live 6.5. How it happened? You wouldn't believe it. It was all over Twitter. It was all over the news. I woke up. I slept 2 hours that night. I woke up groggy as hell, and I walk into work, and you know what I see? Jimmer Fredette scores 71. And you know what I said to myself? He didn't cover. He didn't cover like the Szechuan Blue Whales do.
Exactly. The 70 doesn't matter.
that's all the Sichuan Blue Whales do, man. All they do is cover.
Yep. We love them.
Good teams win. Great teams cover.
Amen, boys. Amen. We love Chinese basketball. It's exhilarating. It's electric. It's everything you could ever ask for sports and more. And thank you, Morgan, because I now can't get enough of it.
It is the most electric game. It is fast. We love it mostly because there's that one obscure former NBA player, former college player on every roster. Sichuan Blue Whales. I don't know what the dude's last name is, but it's like Marcus Georges Hunt. Played for Georgia Tech. Averaged 1.6 points per game. He's putting up 40 points a night in the CBA.
He dropped 64 the other night.
64.
Nobody else took a shot until like 30 seconds. From beginning of overtime to the end of the double overtime, they started to intentionally foul, and then one of the Chinese basketball players, drained these free throws like it was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
These guys don't miss. It's amazing. It is run and gun offense. It's like watching two Mike D'Antoni coach teams out there.
Yeah, no defense. They're all 5'8". It's wonderful.
And Hunt hit the sickest fadeaway 3 at the buzzer to go to double OT. It was remarkable.
I fell out of my seat. I was standing up in front of I was on Discord with Greg and our friend Sean, standing up, screaming at my computer at 3:30 in the morning. So excited.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't sleep. I was so alive.
I've lost so many hours of sleep this past week since I was introduced.
Yep. Greg hasn't slept in 3 days.
I haven't.
Greg was on this massive heater yesterday, and I'm knocked out cold from the night before thanks to Sichuan blue whales. And there's nobody there to congratulate him. He's like, "You guys stink. I hate you guys. What do
He
you
was
want,
so
bro?
angry.
Bad friends. You're bad friends.
We need to sleep. I got podcasts to record. I got pies to flip.
I'll sleep when I'm dead, man. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's a 5-6 day process of me not sleeping, and then I just catch it all up in one night. That's what I told him. I told him I was sorry, happy for his wins.
Man, it's going to take me a while to get over this. Your boy goes on a heater, and nobody is there
Yeah,
to
well,
hear me to hear me gloat about it.
now let me ask you this:
Okay.
if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there to hear it, did it actually fall?
I don't know. You were sleeping.
I can just hear the anger.
He was mad.
How
He texted me
upset
privately, dude.
he
Where the
is.
fuck are you?
He was just so depressed after that play.
Because I've known Greg for a long time, and he knows I very rarely sleep. Always breaking out the JMO.
I got a birthday shot for Kevin. Shout out to Kevin. He's been in the background of the podcast a couple times, just diving on the couch. So
Nice.
got a nice little birthday shot for him. He can't hear anything, but I can hear him. He is dancing around. I see nipples and everything.
Happy
I'll give him
birthday,
a shot.
Kevin.
Hold on.
Hold on, Kev. Hold on, Kev. Hold on, Kev. We got the boys are doing shots also. Oh, you know what?
No.
We're just going to turn
I don't
Kevin
know if I
around
can-
now. We're going to get
Oh.
Kevin on screen with all the boys. Let the boys, Kevin. Cheers.
I
Happy
can't
birthday,
see it.
Kevin. Big
can't
time
see him.
fan of betting the diagonal. That's a shame. I don't know how to fix that.
You
He's
don't.
right there somewhere. Big time fan of betting the diagonal. He's been supporting us in the beginning. Happy birthday, Kevo.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
I'll get you there shot in a little bit.
One more shout out. Not so happy. Shout out. Rest in peace to Kobe. It's been 1 year since his death. An idol of mine. Just wanted to get that out in the open. I think Morgan is fading the Lakers tomorrow, which is a terrible life decision.
Oh no! I will be on the Lakers tomorrow.
Oh, but you were on the over in the points.
I'm on the Joel Embiid over, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good little segue because
Yeah.
Kobe, I will say, being a guy from Philly, and Philly has a very tarnished relationship with Kobe, but he is still from this region. I grew up loving basketball. Everyone loved Allen Iverson. I love Allen Iverson. Don't get me wrong, but Kobe was the guy. Absolutely loved Kobe. Any sport I played, I wanted to be like Kobe because he was just a killer. That absolute killer instinct. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
He was the greatest thing possible. I remember this day last year. I was actually with Kevin watching Bad Boys for Life in the movie theaters, and I got the alert on my phone that Kobe died. And I'm not even ashamed to say a little tear came out of my eye.
Yeah, man.
Not the slightest bit ashamed of that. So, rest in peace to Kobe. Rest in peace to Gigi. It's a shame that we lost all everyone who we lost on that helicopter. I might not know your name. Doesn't mean it doesn't matter that you guys lost your lives. Rest in peace to all of you.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the segue to get into the NBA. Morgan, if you want to go ahead and get us started.
Welcome back to the hardwood, everybody. We here at Betting the Diagonal are big basketball fans. We love betting the NBA, or at least the two good NBA gamblers do. The one who doesn't like it is just because he's not good. He doesn't tail the boys. He doesn't tail the winners. He should. We're hot. I have had sustained success. Greggy is on fire right now. He's trying to give me a run for my money. Like I said, he's like the prince in waiting. I was the king that was promised, but he's the prince in waiting kind of thing. So we've had some great games going on the past few days. I went 4-0 again tonight. Greggy had a 12-3 day yesterday. Greg, how'd you end up going to NBA tonight?
2-0.
Not bad. 2-0, pretty good. Pretty good game there.
Pretty
We had
good.
it was a very light slate tonight, so it was a very tough one. I ended up hitting on, like I said, all my bets. I had the Jazz at -11.5. I was sweating that one out before I got on the podcast here with the boys tonight because going into the third quarter, the Jazz were losing by about 7. And I was like, oh, shit, this does not look good. Jazz decided to go on a 24-3 run in the fourth quarter, which was phenomenal. We ended up hitting on Houston minus 2.5. That was an easy game. There was no way John Wall was going into Washington and losing after everything that had just happened. And then the last one today was the Clippers and Hawks game. That was an easy one, too. It started out a little slow, but half the Clippers roster is out with COVID right now. That line was just screaming, hammer me right now. So tomorrow we're going to have a much bigger slate. All the big teams are back out there again. Big game that I want to talk about with the boys real quick. We mentioned Philly teased it. Lakers Sixers. You got the best team in the West. I think you don't even have to argue that. Versus arguably one of, if not the best teams in the East. Boys, Billy, noted NBA guy. I'll let you take the floor first.
What about it?
Tell me about it. What do you think?
What do I think? It's a Kobe Bryant game. I think LeBron goes off for 60. That's what I think. After going, he scored 43 the other night?
46.
46 to not cover. Goddamn shame. So that was going over in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Ruined my one NBA bet of the night. I don't know, man. What's the line?
I know this isn't your strong suit. Lakers
minus 2.
-2.
Oh, give me the Lakers. Give me the Lakers, and the over/under is what?
I don't have that just yet. I'm expecting probably around 218, 216.
218. Give me the over, even though I know the under is profitable in the Sixers, because I think LeBron goes off, and you told me that Embiid's going to go off, so there's going to be a point scored. So hit me with the over as well. Lakers in the over, I'm going to parlay it.
Greggy, what do you think? Let's get to the NBA, guys. What do you think, Greg? You're hot. Tell me what you think.
All right. First off, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to sniff the over/under. Yeah, that's not a game, regardless of what it is. I'm just not going to touch it. But I'm on the same boat as Billy. Lakers -2 seems like a relatively easy bet. It's not a home game, but it'll be a memorial type of game for the Lakers, where they're gonna. I think they all show that Mamba mentality tomorrow, and they come out and they take that game by a couple buckets. The 76ers are just the weirdest team I know, because they'll
tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, they'll come out and they'll blow out whoever by 25. They'll blow out a good team, and then they'll have a full roster against a shorthanded Miami Heat team, and they'll go to overtime and barely skate away with that game. And then Embiid's out last night, and they get blown out by the Pistons. You still have Ben Simmons. You still have sharpshooters like Danny Green. You still have all these other guys, and you can't skate past the Pistons. They're a team that doesn't really make much sense to me, and that's why I don't back them very often in my picks.
You hit a nail on the coffin of every Philadelphia scumbag like myself. They have been frustrating for years. Philly Sports Radio goes in on Ben Simmons every day. Why won't you score? Why won't you just take over the game? You have the ability to do it. Why do you refuse to do it? And it's funny because they are a completely different team if Joel Embiid does not play. If Embiid plays, they're 9-1. With all their starters together, they're 9-0. When he doesn't play, they're 0-4. They don't win. They can't win. It is mind-boggling how that ends up working.
It's amazing because they have two all-stars outside of him as well.
And you're not wrong. And I shake my head a little bit on the Danny Green sharpshooter thing. Danny Green 5 years ago was maybe a sharpshooter, but he's a nice little role player right now. I'm not a big fan of him because he's a little Tar Heel pussy, but neither here nor there. So.
You know what? Fuck the Tar Heels. They covered.
We don't like Tar Heels on this podcast. But I kind of, as much as it hurts me to say this, I lean with the boys on this one. I am at Lakers -2 also. Prop bet that I'm very intrigued in. I told Greggy about the Embiid over for points. It'll probably sit around 26.5 to 27.5. Joel Embiid, in his career, 5 games against the Lakers, is his highest points per game against any team in the NBA. Averages 31.8 points per game. He goes off against the Lakers whenever he gets a chance. His career high in a single game actually came against the Lakers in LA when there's fans and everything, in a win against the Lakers in LA. So I definitely like that. I understand the don't touch an over under. However, I kind of think I lean the over as well because as much as I don't like to admit with Billy and probably going to just operation fade Billy into the opposite, I think I lean the over as well though, just because of the fact that I do think it will be a bit of a slugfest. I do think that Joel Embiid's going to go for about 40. I think there's a chance LeBron hits the 30 mark. I don't think he's going to go for 60, but I think Anthony Davis will be the leading scorer for those guys. Not to get into too many other ones, but some of the games that are really interesting tomorrow. We got a good Celtics game against the. Hold up one second, I got to find it again. Celtics against the Spurs. That's going to be an interesting one. I'll be on the Celtics at -3. Game that I think is extremely disrespectful is the fact that Minnesota and Golden State are the second ESPN game tomorrow night, as opposed to the Jazz and the Mavericks. The Jazz and the Mavericks is a much better game and much more interesting game to watch. Jazz have been probably the most profitable team against the spread in the NBA this year. I believe they're 13-4 after tonight's win. However, I'm going to go Operation Zigzag, patented by Billy over here. And we're going to go with the Mavericks most likely tomorrow at +4, just because going back-to-back game, had to put in a ton of effort to come back tonight against the Knicks. It just seems like a good spot for the Mavericks to kind of win this one. A couple other ones that are really interesting.
Real quick.
I think.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you before you get into another game. I do not know if the zigzag theory works for the NBA because I don't bet it enough. So you might actually know better than me if it does. Because I know it works for the NHL, and I know it works for college basketball on like 64% of the time, I believe it is now.
We're going to give it a shot.
We'll give it a shot.
I got 2 other games as of right now that I'm interested in. I'm sure there will be more. There's a lot more NBA games right now. A lot of the lines have not come out yet for me, so I'm kind of shooting from the hip on those. But the ones I do have available, I love Cleveland -3 tomorrow against Detroit. Detroit stinks. They're so bad. The fact they beat the Sixers the other night was a sham, but I believe they're like 4-14 on the season. They rely so much on their front court. They're not good. Colin Sexton is kind of coming into his own a little bit as it's a scorer in the NBA, which is great. If he can get a couple things going around and that works, awesome. I love that line -3 to the Cavs. And I don't have an over-under yet or anything for this New Orleans Pelican Washington Wizards game. But right now, I love the over in that game. These are 2 teams that run like crazy. Wizards, for as bad as they are in the top 5 scoring teams in the NBA with Beal and Westbrook. So it's just going to be high-flying scoring constantly. I don't know what – I think that'll probably open around 229 to 232 most likely. I'd probably bet that over up to 235. Over to you, boys. What do you guys got? Billy, I know you don't really got much. What's on your card tomorrow for NBA, Greggy?
All right. So tomorrow, my number one play of the night, same one that you're very excited about, Cavs -3 against the Pistons. I think that is a really weird line for the fact that the Cavs are at home. Pretty healthy lineup at this point in time. And the Cavs aren't a good team, but they're a decent team. The Pistons are not a decent team. They are a dreadful team. They beat an Embiidless 76ers the other night, but like I was saying before, the 76ers are the weirdest team that I know. I don't take any stock value into that. I just think, the Cavs pull this off. They've beat good teams. They beat the teams they should beat. And laying 3 at home against the worst team in the NBA is a gimme. It's basically saying on a neutral floor it's a pick 'em. And that's disrespectful. Next pick, I got Suns -6 over OKC. Suns, clearly the better team. I think we could all agree in that sense. OKC is coming off a good win against the Blazers. They worked really hard in that game. Damian Lillard, he was making that real tough for them at the end, but OKC ended up pulling it out, which was a great win for them. But I think this is a letdown spot for them. They seem to get blown out relatively often, and the fact that the Suns are only having to give up 6 points, that's a good enough number for me to take. I see double-digit win there for the Suns. Last pick I have here, there will probably be more coming. Like Morgan said, not all the lines are out yet. Haven't got to see any over-unders. Haven't got to see my player props yet. But last pick here, Nets -7 against the Hawks. Hawks going on the back-to-back. Good win tonight for them against Kawhi and Paul George-less Clippers. It's a game they should have won. I honestly didn't think they were going to win it, but they did their job with a fully healthy squad against a squad that was missing their top 2 players. So good for them. But this is a game where they're coming on back-to-backs, and the Nets are coming out firing tomorrow. They seem to have gotten it together a bit more since dropping the first 2, and I think Harden is starting to really understand his role as a facilitator on that team instead of the top scoring option, which ultimately I think will give them their best opportunity to win on a nightly basis. I had under 24.5 points for Harden last night, and I was so confident in that. He had 4 points at halftime. He ended up with, but he only took 3 shots. He only took 3 shots up until halftime. He ended up with 20, but he was really efficient, and he had a bunch of assists. He was the facilitator last night, and I think that's what the Nets need to do to constantly win games, other than playing defense, which they all need to work on, like no other. But yeah, that's -7 against the Hawks. I think that's a solid bet.
Interesting. I know what I'm going to play for the NBA. I'm going to have a 20 prop bet day tomorrow, just like Greg did, and I'm just going to blow past everybody. Because I'm a prop bet guy, I don't know the NBA. I'm just going to go ahead and do my research all night, pull an all-nighter. This way, when Greg has a great day tomorrow, I don't need to talk to him about it.
Billy's going to go 0 for 20, and that percentage is going to go below 10% in the NBA.
Nah, no
remember when it was Operation Fade Greg?
Yeah.
In the NBA?
Listen, I'm just riding with what you guys say. But I will be taking the Lakers. I think that is a good bet. And I will be taking the Celtics. You guys said it was, 3.5 against Spurs?
I have it at 3 right now, but yeah.
I find it a little fishy because they're flying all over the country right now. But I will still take it because the Spurs really fucking stink.
The only thing I'll say about, and I'm going to preface this, we never really have said this too much before, but when the episodes come out and everything, this is before any of us know about any players being ruled out, any injuries going in, anything crazy that could happen. So there obviously are things, I had a post the other night. I added the Sixers late to my card. About 5 minutes after I added that, Embiid got ruled out for the game. And as soon as I did, I was like, well, I'm screwed. I'm going to lose this bet. I knew it just like that. There's not much you can do in that situation. So just disclosure with anybody who's listening, watching right now, we are making these calls, 12, 24, however many hours, obviously Sichuan Blue Whales in 7 hours in advance. So things can happen. There are random things that happen. Yes, I absolutely agree with you. That -3, something fishy about it. I don't know what it is just yet. I don't know if there's something crazy injury that I'm not, aware of at this moment. Everything looked good to me, so.
That's how I feel about some of the college basketball lines today. There's a little fish. I don't smell right,
A little sus.
But I'm a fan of fish. I like a nice little fillet of sole or some.
A little bronzino?
Yeah, a little swordfish if I'm feeling frisky. Speaking of fish, you know what? Canada's one of their favorite things to do besides hockey, ice fishing. So let's go back to the ice. Morgan, what do you have for us for?
So
The NHL.
Tomorrow, the Puckheads, there's not much for you, unfortunately. We only got 2 games going on. But we can't forget about our favorite guys from up north.
The Ducks.
We are big Nucks guys. We're Sichuan Blue Whales guys on this podcast. We are
Massive Vancouver Canucks guys.
and Vancouver Canucks guys. I'm a big Toledo Rocket guy, but the Vancouver Canucks are our team in the NHL. Aside from our personal teams, we're on the Flyers and they're the Islanders guys. But we'll get to that game in a second because that's the late game. First game tomorrow is going to be the Chicago Blackhawks at the Nashville Predators. Right now, Predators are -1.5 goal favorites in this game, as they should be. The Blackhawks stink. They are so bad. Going to go down as one of the worst teams in the league this year and get that top draft pick possibly. Lucky for them, this draft stinks. There's no high-end talent, so it just serves them right for beating me in the Stanley Cup in 2010. So I will be on. I'm going to do a parlay tomorrow with this one. This one is a lock already for me. I will be parlaying the Nashville money line. On the other end of that, I will be parlaying with our Nucks. So they can, they're playing Ottawa. Ottawa can go nuck themselves.
Good one.
We're all for the Vancouver Canucks over here. In net, most likely will be Mr. Thatcher Demko, who's had a pretty solid start to his season. Ottawa stinks. Another team that is going to be drafting in the top 10 this upcoming year. Has some exciting young talent, but not good enough to go up against our Nucks. So What are we thinking, boys? What do you guys got for them ice?
I'm on the same for both games, and I'm also going to be on the over for the Senators versus the Nucks. The over in the last 13 games for the Senators, 9-4, and the last 5 have hit in the over for the Canucks. Sign me up. I'll take the over 6. 6 or is it 6.5? I don't even remember.
It's 6.5.
It's 6.5. Give me, you know what? Fuck you guys. Give me a 7. Give me a straight 7. I'll still hit it. That's how confident I am. No, I love the Nucks. I love the Nucks. I love the Nashville Predators. I wish there was more hockey on. I went 2-1 today because the goddamn Leafs. No matter what happens, the goddamn Leafs always trying to cuck me. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. Toronto's the worst town in the world.
Boys, can I just say real quick, a little interjection? Has nothing to do with hockey, but I think we're on the right side of the Sichuan Blue Whales bet because that line is now dropped to +4.5.
Oh no, it hasn't. I didn't take it yet.
Oh, what the heck! I know Greggy already took it.
I was trying to, get a show together.
I gotta be honest, I didn't take it either.
Don't worry, I'll take it right now. I'll take the money line.
Fans, I have it at +7.5, so I'm happier at least. But boys, get that in anyway. Well, before we go over to Greggy, Bill, you got anything else you wanted to add for hockey before we head over there?
No, I think I'm all good. I gave out my picks. I know what I'm taking. I'm confident. I already have all 3 of those locked in. All 3 of them already bet.
I like those. Those are picks.
Let me lock in this bet, and then we will move on. Greg, you have anything to add to?
Not much to add. I'm on the same side with you guys on the Vancouver-Ottawa game. I'm going Vancouver money line as well as the over. The over hit just last night, I believe.
Yes.
The final score was 6-1 in that game. And Vancouver, in their 8 games this year, 7 of them have gone to 7 goals or more. Uh-huh. So that's a solid trend.
That's why I said give me the 7.
Yeah, right. Might as well. 7 out of 8 games hitting 7 goals or more. That's an extremely promising trend that I will follow tomorrow. And I'm not going to sniff the Nashville Blackhawks game. Doesn't really interest me too much.
That's fair. Also, to add into the Nucks fever that we've got going on over here, the last time the Nucks played the Senators, January 25th, what happened, boys? They got smacked.
Go!
The Nucks beat them 7-1.
Yes, they did.
Covering a 7. A straight 7 on the over.
That's what, and we've joked about it in previous episodes how we're going to get Blue Whales jerseys. We're going to get Nucks jerseys and Blue Whales jerseys, boys. We're going to be representing for sure. I got my Philly background here. We're going to add a little Nucks logo right up here. I'm going to add a little Blue Whales logo right up here.
I'll make it up for you. I can handle that form of
I like it.
Of Photoshop. I can get that one
media.
done.
The
Yeah.
craziest part is if it was over under 7 every single game for the Knucks so far, they'd still be 4 wins, 1 loss, 3 pushes.
That's what I'm saying, boys. Love
Love
it.
it.
Love
Love it.
it. What's next, boys? We going down to my hardwood?
Let's take a
I
trip
think
down Billy
so.
Lane here and head on down Tobacco Road and hit some college.
All right. All right. First up, the one bet that's been probably outside of Drake and Toledo and Bryant full game spreads has been Baylor first half spread. There's probably going to be a 12 to 12 and a half. The game line is of 24 and a half, so that's what I'm assuming it's going to be at. I think some money's going to come in to make it a little bit lower, so I'm going to stick to it as it's 12. They have an average point differential in the first half of plus 15. Kansas State absolutely stinks. I'm also taking the first half, the total game, which would be minus 24 at the half currently. I take that up to probably about 26. But like I said, I think Kansas State gets some money coming in, so it probably drops down 23, maybe just a straight 24. Um, Kansas State has only covered 4 out of the 15 games this year. They don't know how to cover. They don't know how to do anything. Baylor is better in every single statistical category there is. They have the better. Besides that, they have the better players, better coaching, but they're the better shooting team, better rebounding team, better defense. Baylor's averaging 5 more steals than them a game, averaging 12 more forced turnovers a game. What more can you like? Give me the second best team in the country, really the 1A team in the country, until we see the Baylor versus Gonzaga matchup we're looking for.
I really
We're
hope they
begging.
make that up. I
They're
really
just
hope they make up that game.
they signs are pointing like they're not going to. So we're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
see them in the championship game most likely. Next game on the board, Virginia Tech money line. This opened up as a pick'em. Now it's moved down to Notre Dame -1. Not sure why. Virginia Tech is the much better team, in my opinion. We rode them to the Duke money line win, and I like as bad as Duke has been, they're still better than Notre Dame. That team is terrible. Virginia Tech is 14-2 against the spread in the last 16 against a team with a losing record. Lock me in for that. So if they're going to give me plus points or plus money line, I'll gladly take it. Gladly take it. I suggest you guys do too. Creighton -1 versus Seton Hall. This is me saying fuck you, Seton Hall. I hate Seton Hall. I tried to be a fan of theirs thanks to our buddy Sean. Took me to a bunch of games. He even got me on the floor at the Garden for a wild overtime game against Kentucky.
Kentucky, right?
Yeah, man, it was insane. Hell of a game. We sat maybe eight seats away from Kevin Knox. Electric game. Guess what? They couldn't cover in overtime because they stink. Seton Hall is my worst enemy. I don't like to bet on them, even though I just bet on them the other day. Creighton doesn't know how to make free throws, though. That's why this is only a 1 point spread. Um, I'm taking Creighton. I would lean the over, but I'm not getting to window on that one. The next game is the one Morgan is apparently on the other side of, and he's going to hate to hear why. Wisconsin -3.5 going up against Maryland, who's at home. Wisconsin's a top 10 team. They may have lost to Ohio State the other day. They're going to be looking for a bounce back game in a game they really shouldn't have lost. They just shot very poorly, couldn't make shots to go down, similar to how they did against Maryland. The difference between when they played Maryland last time and this time, Maryland's not going to shoot over 50% from the field. They shot 57% from the field last time. That's just not going to happen. That's not what Maryland does. That's not what Wisconsin allows. Wisconsin is only allowing 41% from the field. I don't see them possibly letting a bad shooting team shoot over 50%. They're going to have revenge on their minds after them beating them on the home court up in Cheeseland. Give me Wisconsin -3.5. I take it up to 5. Easily. With ease, Morgan. You want to tell me why? Is there a different reason why that you're going to take
No,
Maryland?
no. It's not just Operation Fade Billy all day.
Oh, okay, that's fair. This one I don't know if I'm going to put it on my card or Twitter, but I will be betting on this game. Boise State versus Colorado State. This is my favorite conference. I love this conference. It's the conference of defense. It's the conference of forced turnovers to layups. Fundamentals. This is the conference of fundamentals, is what I'm trying to say. They play good basketball. Slap the floor defense. I love this. These are probably the best two teams in the conference. Boise State, who hasn't lost a game since the season opener against a top 15 team in Houston, or against Colorado State, who's been on an absolute tear lately. Boise has not played the same level of competition that Colorado State has. They've played the bottom half. They've already played Air Force, blew them out of the water. If you follow us, you knew that we were both all on San Diego State. What you didn't know is we all had our whole accounts on San Diego State because it's the easiest win you'll ever get in college basketball, a minus 16 against.
If y'all had a peek into the group chat when that game was going on, too, we were going wild.
Yeah.
When Billy tells you all of our accounts were on that game, all of our accounts were on that game. We emptied every penny we had available into that game.
And as you guys know, I am the most responsible of the three here. I don't put that much money on games. When I see something like this, I take it. I said, listen, I texted everybody I knew, take that game. It's a lock. I don't use the word lock. That is a lock. Took it. I loved it. Anyway, so you're getting wins from Boise. They've been a great team. They're projected to be an auto bid into the tournament. Both these teams are. But they haven't played the level of defense that Colorado State's about to bring. They just shut down Utah State. They just shut down San Diego State. They're just shutting teams down. The over/under in this game is way too high. I think it's at 148, and I don't see either one of these teams scoring 75, 80 points. But you never know because Colorado State just scored their most points in the year last time they played Utah State. But I'm going to be on Colorado State money line. Right now, it's a plus 130. I think Boise State, who has been very profitable for people on the spread, will get a lot of more money in. So I haven't bet it yet, but I will be betting it. Don't know if it's going to make it to my Twitter card, but it'll probably make it to my Twitter card. I don't know who we're kidding here. And I think that's it for now. But who knows? Szechuan Blue Whales might change my mind. I might need another bet in for tomorrow.
I'm going to go out on a limb right now, and it's Wednesday, which means Mega Card Wednesday for Billy. There will be at least 15 plus college basketball plays by Billy tomorrow.
No, usually it's
I take the under.
Ooh,
yeah, it's definitely the under. I'm playing less games. I kind of know what I'm doing. I'm not just throwing water out the window, I do like Florida State minus 11.5 against Miami. Miami stinks, but I don't know if I'll play it. Marquette plus 1.5 I like a little bit. I don't know. You said you're going to be on VMI, right? Our cash cow.
I will be on VMI.
Yeah, they've been very profitable. I love that conference. It's the conference
big
that makes the
VMI
most money that nobody knows.
Western Carolina.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a fun conference.
Yep. I got my boys down in Furman who have really disappointed me this year as far as covers go. They have not been profitable at all.
Yeah.
Morgan, you have anything?
Yeah, it's my turn. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So clearly, I'm gonna start with the first game on the board tomorrow because that's what us degenerates do.
Szechuan Blue Whales kept the first game on the board tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, in terms of college, we got BYU at Pepperdine. We got BYU at a -6, and that's who I'm going to be taking tomorrow. BYU, they're a good team. Pepperdine, they're an okay team. Pepperdine kept up with Gonzaga for about a half. And then I believe Gonzaga covered like a 26, 27-point spread.
Yep, 27.
That's typical Gonzaga for you. But BYU, -6. They're a good road team as well. They're going into Pepperdine tomorrow. They've beat teams on the road, such as San Francisco and St. Mary's in conference matchups, beating both of those teams by 9 or more. So I'm looking at this 6 spread against a team that is worse, in my opinion, than both St. Mary's and San Francisco. And I'm going to take BYU -6. Next game on the board, James Madison -3.5 against Towson. Towson stinks. They're
That they do.
they're really bad. Uh, Last week they made me look really bad though for my North Carolina Wilmington projection. Hated that, but Towson is a really bad team. James Madison is, they're towards the top of that conference. They haven't played too many in conference games yet, less than almost every other team in the conference. But within those games that they played, they beat Towson by 9 on their home floor, on Towson's home floor, should I say? And now Towson's going to James Madison, only giving up -3.5. So I'm going to take -3.5 to beat Towson. I'm going to go with Billy on my next pick, Virginia Tech. I have them as pick 'em still. And I'm about to take that momentarily.
I already took the pick 'em, but I'll probably take it again.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, yeah. Virginia Tech, pick 'em against Notre Dame. I had them over the weekend against Syracuse. That was a tough, tough loss. Not that Syracuse was a bad team, but I think Virginia Tech just played down to their competition. They're a lot better of a team than that, and they've shown it in a bunch of games this season, beating Duke. What else do I got here on that? Oh, they beat Notre Dame by 14 on January 10th. So that's a solid indicator that a pick 'em in this line, regardless of whether they're traveling or sitting on their home court, is a good bet. Next, I have Baylor -25 against Kansas State. They beat KSU in Kansas on December 19th by 31. And since December 19th, nothing has changed. Kansas State still stinks.
Something has changed. Baylor's gotten better.
Well, Baylor may
Baylor's
have gotten better
much
over that
better.
time, but I'm just saying in terms of Baylor hasn't lost a game, Kansas State has not won a game. So in terms of that, nothing has changed. They lost on their home floor by 31. They're going to go into Waco, and they're going to lose by more than that. Kansas State is they're 1-7 in conference, and they beat Iowa State, who is just a little bit worse than them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't think I need to say anything more about why Baylor is going to make them. They're going to be Kansas State's daddy tomorrow.
Like, look what happened against Oklahoma State. I was worried because I only took the first half in Baylor. I wound up taking the second half off of Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
But they are usually very good, like I said, in the first half. They came out slow, and Oklahoma State's a good team. They are not a bad team. Even
Mm-hmm.
without Cade Cunningham, that's what I said today when I bet on them. They're still a good team, even without him. You know, they still play great defense. They're great. They run the floor very well. You know, they space, they pass the ball. Second half, Baylor blew them out by 20.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're just them and Gonzaga are just a league of their own. You know?
Yeah, agreed. I think Big 12 football teams should start to hire Big 12 NBA, Big 12 basketball coaches to help work on their defense.
Yeah, they should for sure. Stay in front of receivers. You know,
Exactly.
love it.
I got 2 more on my card for now. I got Drake at whatever line they're going to be tomorrow against Missouri State. Today was a -3.5. They came out slow in the first half, down, I believe it was 15 at halftime. They came out and they ended up winning that game by, I believe, 7 points.
It's wild.
Just blew the doors off them in the second half. The defense was amazing in the second half, held them to 15 points, 16 points, something like that.
20. It was 42-20 in the
20?
second half. It was wild.
Yeah, it was amazing. Me and Billy decided to take that game today. last minute, and I didn't feel good about it at the beginning, but clearly the tides changed. If it ain't
Bless you,
broke,
Morgan.
bless you, buddy. You know, Drake is
Thanks, guys.
14-0 straight up. They're 14-0 against the spread. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Good teams win, great teams cover.
Love
They're
it.
both. They're both. Um, and my last pick on here, you know, I don't have many stats to cover this, but St. John's +1 at DePaul.
Yeah, love that too. I don't know why it's the +1.
Yeah, I have.
That's why it's not on my card. I don't know why yet.
Yeah, the only thing I wrote here under this game is someone fucked up the line because St. John's, they can shoot the lights out of the building. I don't care that Shamari Pons isn't there anymore. They continually bring in shooters that can shoot the lights out of the gym. And DePaul, they're at home, but they're 3-7 on the year. They they don't have what it takes to keep up with the Red Storm. And at a +1, it's for me. This is a steal of a line, and
Yeah,
I already took it.
you did. I
Oh
like.
yeah,
I wanted to see if there's any injuries or anything coming out because that
Mhm.
line made no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, same.
I literally had it there and I was like, how? Wait. Big East basketball's weird. Let me wait. Let me do a little bit of research.
Yeah, I mean it reminded me exactly of the DePaul UConn game like a
Hmm.
week or so ago, where DePaul was favored over UConn. And that didn't make sense at all because I don't think UConn was ranked at that time.
No, they were. That was right. That was the game after Book Knight got hurt and got
Yes, yeah,
surgery.
he wasn't in the game.
Like,
Um,
come on.
yeah, I mean it just didn't make any sense. I don't know if like these bookmakers like are from Chicago and they're DePaul fans. I mean, if they were, I guess they'd make this line like +30 DePaul, so they get the cover. But it's like the line is wrong in this game, and bang it before it's too late.
Yep, I agree. Greg, you remember when we went to that St. John's game and that kid right below us said the Shamori Pounce was gonna be a first round pick?
Yeah, no, I think
How'd
he was a
that work
late
out?
second, right?
How'd that work out? Yeah, he stinks. He got cut by the Knicks.
Yeah, he's probably floating around in the G League somewhere. Probably be on the Sichuan Blue Whales at some point in his
Oh,
career.
bro, if he's on the Sichuan Blue Whales, he's averaging 65 a night.
100%.
That boy is an animal.
Yeah,
Um, and also Morgan almost went to DePaul. He told
really.
me that.
Did.
He almost
I
told me that
did
last week.
almost go to DePaul. When I was
Almost a
doing
Blue
on the
Demon.
when I was on the AAU tour for baseball, DePaul was one of the schools I looked at, and I did a workout out there.
Really?
But
Did you play college baseball?
I did in the beginning. So I got out of high school. Was recruited for both football and baseball. So I switched. My first 2 years, I was doing baseball, but I wanted to just drink and have a good time, so I didn't take it very seriously.
Tell
And
me
then
about it.
I switched over to football after that, and popped my Achilles. So didn't succeed in either at the end of the day, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's fair. I
Yikes.
went. Yeah, I went to college my first 2 years for baseball. I said I was going for business, but I went for
I went
baseball.
I went for I went for baseball because I got recruited by Ryder. It was one of the ones I was also looking at going to. I got Pitt's University of Pitt was looking at me for a little bit, and then I was like, I don't want to do this seriously. I've just done this for too serious for too long. I'll
Hmm.
go have some fun with it. If something happens, something happens. But I want to go enjoy my college experience. And boy, did
Fair.
I enjoy it.
Me too.
I
At
bet you
least
did.
you guys both have degrees, correct?
That's correct.
I got a degree in partying, boys.
Had a baby.
I never made it. Morgan, you got picks for us for
I got a couple
college
that I'll add
basketball?
in here. I don't have as much detail as obviously as you guys do. I go off what has been working for me and who I've been playing for a while. So I'll be on VMI -2.5. I love VMI, as Billy was kind of hinting on earlier. They have been a cash cow for me there against Western Carolina. I will be watching that game with the most positive intentions because I love them. Um, I'm going to go Bowling Green +5. solely because my favorite process era Sixer was Rashawn Holmes, and he went to Bowling Green, and I have played Bowling Green 2 times previously, and they have cashed in for me on each occasion. I loved your guys' picks for St. John's and Baylor, so I added both of those to my card as well. So I'll be telling you guys on those ones. Billy doesn't like this pick, but I'm going to ride with it regardless. I'm going to be on Fordham +7 against Duquesne. Fordham's another team that has won for me now a good bit. So, again, I'm loyal to my teams, sometimes to a fault. Billy looks like you want to chime something in there. Go ahead.
I do. It's nothing about like Fordham and itself. It's about the numbers you have been getting. You've been getting +18, +19, and +16. Now you're getting a single-digit point against what may be the worst team in college basketball. No, probably bottom 10 because everybody knows fade Chicago State and fade Mississippi Valley State.
I roll with my Fordham team. I don't know what the heck they're called, but I ride with them. They're my squad. There's no Toledo tomorrow, so I can't roll with them. We have to switch it up a little bit. I also will be on another team that has played very well for me of late throughout the entire season. I'm just trying to figure out who they're playing again tomorrow. There it is. Wofford -9.5 versus Citadel. Wofford, I've played them quite a few times. They have been great for me. So they will be on the card. Another one that it's a question mark game for me right now because I want to see if the number comes down a little bit. Will be Colorado at -15 against Washington State. Colorado just played Washington State the other night. They won by, I believe it was 11. I want to see if I can get this down to maybe 13 or 12. If it sits at 15, I probably won't touch it. That number's a little bit too rich for my blood, but we'll see what happens as the day progresses. That's a late night game. That could be a live betting game for me for sure, though.
Yeah.
Morgan, I got a little tidbit for you.
Hey, that's me.
So, you said your favorite Sixer process player was Rashawn Holmes?
Yeah.
Can I ask you why to start?
Why? He was my favorite because this dude. So aside from all right, so let me pull. I'll say he's my second favorite. My favorite Sixer process player was T.J. McConnell. Absolutely love the dude. Scrappy white point guard. He and I had a nice moment at a Sixers game where we just pointed at each other, and it was like a bro moment. We're best friends. He might not know it, but I know it. We're best friends. Rashawn Holmes. I loved Rashawn Holmes coming in. You guys will see anyone who's watching will see as it gets close to draft season. I love all the drafts for every single sport. I do a million hours of research for each one. I knew who Rashawn Holmes was going into it, and I was very intrigued by him as a shot blocker and a 3-and-D kind of potential, just his explosiveness that he had. I think he went like 37th overall, give or take, to the Sixers the year he was drafted. He was drafted the same year that Embiid was taken. And he didn't get a ton of minutes at the beginning because he was behind Nerlens Noel, but whenever those guys would be out, he would come in and he would just shine. He wouldn't do anything crazy, but he would bring this ton of energy off the bench. And I loved it because those process Sixers teams, they stunk. They were painful to watch. So you needed to have something that you could cling on to. And watching him was great. It was awesome. It sucked when we traded him to the Suns. Hated that, but he's gone on to have a pretty good career so far, so I'm very happy for him.
All right. That's
awesome. A long explanation.
The little tidbit that I wanted to let you know of was that of qualifying players in the NBA, Rashawn Holmes leads the league in field goal percentage.
This guy, he just needed a chance. That's the problem. He never was going to get a chance in Philly because at the time he had Okafor, Noel, and Embiid all in front of him on the depth chart. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Sixers clearly made the right choice with Embiid being the guy, And then he went to Phoenix, and Phoenix then spent the first overall pick on DeAndre Ayton. Never going to get a chance. Found his way to Sacramento.
And it looks like he's going to get traded again.
He probably will, and he will provide great value. Be a great guy for the Nets to go get. He's not making a ton of money. He can be an interior presence on D. Also can put some points up. He'll give you a nice little 8-10 points a night, but he'll put some defense. He's a phenomenal shot blocker too.
Yeah, I like that Nets trade prediction. Yeah,
you should do a trade deadline show also.
Oh, 100%. He's shooting 67.7%.
It's like he's not just. I think we were watching a game about the other night, and a couple weeks ago or whatever, and I went off on him because he was jacking threes up and he was costing me money. But the guy, he can shoot the three a little bit. He's got a nice little mid range game, but he's a great pick and roll option with De'Aaron Fox out there. So
Yeah,
Rashawn Holmes,
100%.
him number 22 back in Philly. Had his jersey at one point. I don't know what happened to it, but I had it.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah.
That segment bored Billy to death.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at these CBA lines. I'm trying to figure out why Jimmy Fredette and the Shanghai Sharks are 19.5-point underdogs. That's all I'm trying to figure out.
Maybe he's not playing.
He's got to be playing. He just dropped 71. You guys sell jerseys.
Maybe his ego is injured.
Yeah, I guess. I
don't think he shot enough. I think he's got to shoot more.
You didn't watch that game, clearly.
I feel like, if you're Jimmy Fredette and you're only going to score 71 points, like, come on, man. Bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. Bump them up a little bit.
He shot and made 23 free throws.
Joel Embiid does that all the time.
Yeah, well, maybe imagine Joel Embiid in the CBA. Love it.
Oh, he'd put up 140 every single night.
That's the game that's on at 2:30, boys. There's the Flying Tigers and the Sturgeons.
I'm playing Flying Tigers minus 13.5.
I got minus 14.
The Flying Tigers, they're playing. I forget the name of the team. I'm not looking at it right now, but they're 13.5-point favorites against the Sturgeons. They're playing.
Yes.
Bottom team in the league.
Right there, boys and girls. I think that's a great spot to close out this show.
Yeah.
We have entered truly degenerate hour right now.
Giving us a guaranteed lock for the CBA. Minus 13. I got minus 14. That's fine with me. I'll take it up to 20. That's how confident I am.
Yep.
Morgan, close us out.
Yeah, so sticking to the CBA fund, if you want to be a true degenerate, if you want to feel like you're one of betting the diagonal boys, the degenerates that we are, take a look at that Sichuan Blue Whales line every single night that it comes out. The boys will be on the Sichuan Blue Whales every single game. We ride or die with our blue whales.
Aquatic animals only.
You want to feel, that's right. If you want to feel like you're one of the betting the diagonal boys, hop on that train with us. All aboard, baby. Choo choo. We're coming in hot right now. But we're having a lot of fun. We've been over this a million times. We're having fun. Big thing, everybody, gamble responsibly. Do not gamble your life away. We do not want anybody living on the street. It got a little touch and go with Greg there for a little while. He's coming back on a good stream right now. It looks like he's got some electric in his house. So hopefully that we get some more winnings so we can keep that power on for him. That's probably why his tweets have been so good. They probably were cutting out his data plan there because
no Wi-Fi.
Honestly, my parents almost kicked me out because I couldn't afford rent, and my rent is $0.
See, it's not fun.
It's tough times, but as always, you can always find us at Bang Diagonal on Twitter. You can find us on Spotify and on YouTube where this video will be released. Our Spotify will be out usually within about 24 hours or so. Billy does a very good job of getting that out there for everybody, and we will share it, obviously, on the Twitter page. You can follow us all on Twitter at BillyFFD. Is it Gersh Greg or Greg Gersh? Which one?
Gersh Greg.
Gersh Greg. I get like an email.
Yeah, I get that mixed up. It's at Gersh Greg. Give Greg some props. He's on fire right now.
Yes, sir.
Had a tweet. He went from a kindergarten tweeting level. He's almost at a high school tweeting level now, guys. We just got to get him to add some more GIFs in there and a few other little things, and he's right up there with the boys. You can find me at MoWatch26. I'd love to dialogue with you. I had a nice little exchange with a guy today. I am now Basketball Mista. Awesome. It's going to be a nice little thing for us for going now. I'd love to get in there and talk about. I was talking to the kid about some of my picks for the NBA tonight. All my picks hit. Hopefully he tailed me. I kind of get the sense he didn't, but
I'm sorry.
But I'd love to have if you are interested in sports gambling. We also have a great segment of Birthing the Degenerate. We are filming episode 2 this week with your favorite fourth chair / little infant man-child, Jared Phillip, who's on Twitch at JPhilly the Kid. He gives us plugs all the time. He is the man who came up with the name Betting Diagonal. We're going to teach him everything we know about gambling. He was on the right side of the football games last week, boys. We want to mention that. I know we just did. Well, Billy and I were all over the place.
I wasn't going to say anything, but
I have to give the kid some credit. He was on the right side. So if you did watch that clip, Jared's 2-0 in football.
He's
I haven't won a football bet in about 6 weeks, but Jared's 2-0 in his last.
He's good.
His last 2. So
I won both last weekend too.
Greggy did too. Yeah, we know.
One was a little questionable. One was questionable because you posted it after.
What are you talking about?
You posted it after the game started. After this touchdown was already scored. It was already
No, I
7-0.
did not.
There might be another audit coming, boys.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. You know why? Because I posted it, and I was sitting here watching the game.
You posted for me?
Yeah, remember? Oh, sorry, bro. I'm at work. I didn't get a chance to.
This is a thing. It did happen.
It did happen.
Okay.
But as we will get into that, and we'll discuss that shortly. Everyone who's watching, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Boys, it's been a pleasure as always. I will see you guys again Thursday night for our next episode. Until then, Degenerates, happy gambling. Thanks for watching and enjoying our content.
Best of luck.
Peace.